Hello and welcome to a new lesson on reported speech. This is a course by Askademic specifically created for students of English with an intermediate level. So let's get started. I am so excited to be accompanying you on this reported speech training journey. Let's take a look at our course plan. We have already dealt with Lesson 1, an introduction to reported speech, then Lesson 2 on reporting statements, and now we are on Lesson 3. So today we are going to be dealing with reporting questions. So here we are, and let's get started. The usual changes that take place when reporting questions are the same changes that happen when we are reporting statements. Changes in verb tenses, pronouns, word order, time and place of reference. But also the form of the original questions change into a statement. And we omit the auxiliary verbs, for example, do, does, did, and the question marks. Let's see. What's your name? She asked me. She asked me what my name was. So here we see word order that changes. Tense from present to past. What's your name changes to what my name was. The question mark disappears and also the inverted commas. And what kind of question is this? It's a WH question. What's your name? She asked me what my name was. If we take a look at the next example, are you having a good time? This is a yes-no question because the answer to this question is not a what your name was, for example. It's not a content question, but the answer is yes or no. So, are you having a good time? She wanted to know if I was having a good time. Now, if we pass on to the next question, which is also a yes-no question, we see that there are two options here. Do you want some tea or coffee? So she asked me whether I wanted some tea or coffee. So what we can see here is that there are two types of questions, WH questions and yes-no questions. And within yes-no questions, we can use if or whether if there's more than one option. When reporting WH questions, we normally use the WH word followed by the reported clause. For example, she asked me why she had to study English, or she wanted to know where the new school was. When are you coming? He asked. He asked me when I was coming. So notice this WH word, why, where, when, right, is required. In the case of yes-no questions, we normally use ask followed by an if clause or a whether clause, as I said before. Are you happy? She wanted to know if I was happy. Do you like cats or dogs? She asked me whether I liked cats or dogs. So again, as we said before, when there's only one option, are you happy? Yes or no? She wanted to know if I was happy. But in the second case, we have two options. Do you like cats or dogs? So she asked me whether I like cats or dogs. So we use whether in this case. The changes that take place are the same changes that take place as we said before, when reporting statements, changes in pronouns, word order, verb tenses, and also changes in time and place reference. Let's take a look at changes in verb tenses. Present simple changes to past simple in the same way as it changes when reporting statements. In this case, we are reporting questions. So, are you a student? She asked me. Changes into she asked me, or she wanted to know if I was a student. So again, present simple changes into past simple. Present continuous changes into past continuous. Are you studying history? He asked me. He asked me if I was studying history. So again, we take a look at all the changes, like the question mark disappears, the tense changes from present continuous to past continuous, and the word order in general. Past simple changes to past perfect. Did you visit London last year? She asked me. She asked me if I had visited London the previous year. So time and place reference changes as well. Present perfect changes to past perfect. Have you finished? She asked. She asked or wanted to know if I had finished. Past continuous changes to past perfect continuous. What were you doing yesterday at 6 p.m.? So notice she asked me what I was doing the previous day at 6 p.m. Future simple changes into conditional simple. Will you marry me? He asked me. He asked me if I would marry him. Can changes to could. Can you do me a favor? She asked me. She asked me if I could do her a favor. Notice that we use ask, inquire, wanted to know, etc., among other verbs to report questions. He asked me what my name was, or he inquired if I had filled in the form, or he wanted to know whether I wanted tea or coffee. The changes in time and place of reference are the same changes that take place in statements and also in functions. Today changes to that day, tomorrow to the next or the following day, yesterday to the day before or the previous day, 2, for example, days ago into 2 days before, now into then, here into there, come into go, and this changes into that. So let's take a look at some examples. Do you like this place? She asked me. She asked me if I liked that place. So notice how this changes into that. And also we see all the other changes as we said before. The question changes into a statement. She asked me if I liked that place, that verb tense from present to past, right? And the time and place of reference, this into that. Let's take a look at the next example. Will you come to my house tomorrow? He asked me. He asked me if I would go to his house the following day. So notice how come changes into go and tomorrow changes into the following day. So That's all. It's time to practice. So let's do this together. I will give you some time for you to think about the answers and check your understanding of reporting questions in English. Complete these questions. Number 1, can you help me? She asked us, see, if we could help her, right? Can you help me? Changes into a statement. She asked us, and can into could. If we could help her. Very good. So let's pass on to number 2. Where is the nearest bookstore? The man on the street asked me. Notice we have a WH word there. The tense is the present simple tense. Right? So, are you ready? Here we go. The man on the street asked me where the nearest bookstore was. Let's take a look at number 3. What kind of movies do you like? The interviewer asked him. Are you ready? The interviewer asked him what kind of movies he liked. Yes, because we got a WH word. What kind of movies he liked from present to past, right? Let's see what happens with number 4. Do you live in a house or in an apartment? So what did we say about having 2 options, right? So this is a yes-no question with 2 options. So the man wanted to know whether I lived in a house or in an apartment. Was it good? Okay. Are you ready to pass on to the next one? Let's go. Number 5. Do you need anything? The shop assistant asked me. Okay. If I needed anything. So notice that all the changes have to take place. Like the question must turn into a statement. The present changes into the past tense. And then you have to decide, is it a yes-no question or a WH question? In this case, it's a yes-no question. The shop assistant asked me if I needed anything. Number 6, can you open your bag, please? And here I would like you to think of 2 different options. Let's see if you can come up with 2 different answers. Let's see. The officer asked me to open my bag, or the officer asked me if I could open my bag. Okay. Let's pass on to the next one. Did you close the door? This is easy. He asked me if I had closed the door, right? Notice how the past changes into the past perfect tense. This is a yes-no question, so we use if because there's only one possibility, one option. Did you close the door? Did you call me yesterday? Notice that there will be changes in the verb tense and also in the time of reference. So he asked me if I had called him the previous day, right? How are you getting on so far? Let's pass on to number 9. Did you travel travel to Greece or Italy last year? So careful, because we've got two options. So it's a yes, no question with two options. We have the simple past and we have last year. So there are several changes that will take place here. Are you ready? He asked me whether I had traveled to Greece or Italy the previous years. So notice that we use whether because there are two options, had traveled because the past changes into the past perfect, and last year changes to the previous year. And the last one, number 10, are you coming tomorrow? He asked me if I was coming the next or the following day. So that's all for now. Thank you very much. And on behalf of Askademic, I hope you have enjoyed this lesson on reporting questions, and see you later on lesson 4 on reporting functions. Bye-bye.